Welcome to Weydii 252. I'm your host, Chamad Hashi. Thank you for tuning in. And today's news headlines are: Speaker of the House of the People calls for unity and legislative reform at a national consultative conference. Foreign Minister refutes false claims about Somali delegation to ILO conference, urges media responsibilities. Somalia's Minister of Defense visits Qatar Military College, encourage Somali cadets to contribute to national rebuilding. Somali embassy in Turkey says ready to support travel of Somali citizens from Iran. Somalia backs stronger regional health cooperation. Somalia becomes founding member of International Big Cat Alliance. One person was reported killed in Kenyan capital of Nairobi on Tuesday as protesters fled for a second consecutive week. Israel-Iran air war enters sixth day. Trump calls for Iran's unconditional surrender. Supreme Leader Khamenei says Iran will not surrender, warns USA of irreparable damage. Good evening and welcome to the news. First tonight, the Speaker of the House of the People of the Federal Parliament of Somalia, Sheikh Aadan Madoobe, delivered a keynote address at the ongoing National Consultative Conference in Mogadishu today. His speech highlighted the significance of the conference in shaping the country's political future and reaffirmed the Parliament's commitment to strengthening governance through legislative reform. In his address, Speaker Sheikh Aadan Madoobe underscored the critical importance of the National Consultative Conference in advancing Somali statehood and fostering a unified national dialogue. He reflected on Somalia's difficult journey towards stability, acknowledging the many phases and formidable challenges the country has endured in rebuilding its institution and national identity. This conference is not only a platform for consultation, but a testament on how far we have come as a nation and how much further we must go together, the speaker said. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation has firmly dismissed as baseless the recent allegations circulating on certain media outlets and social media platforms concerning the Somali delegation to the 113th session of the International Labour Conference held in Geneva. The ministry confirmed that all members of the official delegation have returned to the country. In an official statement, the ministry certainly rejected what is described as unfounded claims that seek to distort the truth and cast doubt on the integrity of Somalia's participation in the important international event. The statement read, "It is both disappointing and deeply regrettable that some media outlets and individuals on social media have chosen to spread misinformation." The ministry concluded by affirming its continued support for Somalia representatives on global stage and its dedication to ensure that Somalia's voice remains credible, constructive, and respected in international forums. Federal Government of Somalia's Defense Minister Ahmed Muallim Fiqi has urged Somali military cadets in Qatar to make the most of their training, saying their skills and discipline are vital to rebuilding a professional and unified national army. The minister made the remarks during an official visit to the Ahmed bin Mohammed Military College in Doha, where he met Somali National Army officer cadets currently undergoing military education. He encouraged them to fully embrace the opportunity, emphasizing their critical role in shaping Somalia's security future. Qatar is among the countries supporting Somalia's long-term security sector, reforms through education and strategic cooperation. 14 countries from East and Central Africa have reaffirmed their commitment to working together to tackle shared health threats, with Somalia playing a leading role in advancing cross-border health cooperation during a high-level meeting held this week in Djibouti. Presiding over the gathering as chair of the Regional Steering Committee, Somalia's Minister of Health and Social Welfare, Dr. Ali Haji Adam, urged governments to strengthen their collective capacity to detect and respond to disease outbreaks that ignore national borders. We live in a region where health challenges travel faster than borders can contain. Our strength lies in our unity, Dr. Adam told ministers and senior health officials gathered from across the region. The Embassy of the Federal Republic of Somalia in Turkey has issued a public notice to Somali citizens currently residing in Iran, offering assistance to those who wish to leave the country due to the ongoing conflict. The embassy is coordinating efforts to ensure the safe return of Somali nationals. In an official statement, the embassy urged all Somali citizens in Iran who wish to return home to make immediate contact with the diplomatic mission for support. The federal government of Somalia has launched a new effort to strengthen national resilience to climate-related disaster as the countries continue to face escalating environmental and humanitarian challenges. On Tuesday, the Somali Disaster Management Agency opened a high-level national consultation forum in Mogadishu to review and update the country's disaster management policy. The initiative is seen as a critical step toward improving preparedness and long-term risk reduction in one of the world's most climate-vulnerable nations. Chairperson Sodma Mahmoud Muallim Abdullah at the forum opening said, "We are taking a unified, exclusive approach to ensure that Somalia has a disaster policy that reflects the current realities and future risks facing our communities." The forum, expected to continue over 2 days, forms part of a broader national strategy to reduce disaster risk and ensure that communities are better protected from future shocks. In other news, one person was reported killed in Kenyan capital of Nairobi on Tuesday as protesters fled for a second consecutive week, paralyzing businesses. The demonstrations were sparked by the death of Albert Ojwang, a teacher and social media personality who died while in police custody. Ojwang had been accused of defaming Deputy Inspector General of Police. His death triggered public outrage and a wave of protesters that began on June the 12th. Iran and Israel launched new missile strikes at each other today as the air war between the two longtime enemies entered a sixth day, despite a call from US President Donald Trump for Tehran's unconditional surrender. The Israeli military said Iranian missiles were launched towards Israel in the first 2 hours of this morning. Explosions were heard over Tel Aviv. Israel told residents in the southwestern area of Tehran to evacuate so its air force could strike Iranian military installations. Iranian Supreme Leader Ali Khamenei said today that the country remains steadfast amid its conflict with Israel and will not surrender to anyone amid pressure. In a televised address, Khamenei praised the steadfast, courageous, and timely response of the Iranian people to what he called the foolish and malicious aggression of Israel. He said the nation's resilience reflected the growth of rationality and spirituality in the country. Supreme Leader Khamenei states the Iranian nation stands firm against an imposed war just as it will stand firm against an imposed peace. this nation will not surrender to anyone under pressure. He warned that any American military intervention would cause irreparable damage. Those who know Iran and its history understand that threatening its nation is futile, he said. That's all for today. We'll be back with more news updates. Until then, stay tuned with Weydii 252. Please do not forget to subscribe, like, and share. It's good night from us.